Good morning and welcome to the Company Grade Officer Foundation monthly podcast for August 2025. I'm Melissa Rushoff, Chair of CGOF Advisory Board, and I have the distinct honor of welcoming Samantha Weeks to our podcast. She's the newest member on our advisory board and comes with just a wealth of knowledge and a background that is just rich in everything from leadership to flying to serving. So let's talk about Samantha. She's been in the Air Force, was in the Air Force for 23 years. She earned over 2,000 hours flying, earned her PhD, focused on developing military leaders, and won an amazing distinction as the first ever female solo pilot in the Thunderbirds. She retired as a wing commander out of the Air Force's largest pilot training base, and then she went on to become what she is now, which is a transformative corporate executive. And she joined the CGOF board as one of their leadership team members, again, newest advisory board member. And we have just three very specific questions, but cannot wait to jump in with Samantha and hear some of her wisdom and her insight. So welcome, Samantha.
Missy, thanks so much for having me here today and for really giving me the opportunity to be a part of the foundation as an advisory board member.
Well, thank you. All right, first question I have for you, and I'm sure there's a million that we would all love to hear, but let's just do three today. First one is, who was the most impactful to you during your time as a CGO? And then if you can just help us understand why.
I would say if I think back to my time as a CGO, there are a few people that really stand out, and I'm not sure that I could really narrow it down to one person. I would say first is a person that I highlight all the time in my keynote speaking, and it's Master Sergeant Macy Jenkins. He was a maintainer in the 94th Fighter Squadron with me, and he really taught me how to learn from those who I serve. As an officer, we have a voice and responsibility to take care of the men and women who also do the mission. And Macy taught me that there are so many more pieces to the puzzle than just me in my F-15C. He taught me truly that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And it's my job to listen and learn from those that I have to lead and serve. I'd also say that my best friend and husband as a CGO taught me a lesson to learn from my peers, how their careers or their pieces of the puzzle really do impact me and the perspective that I have and the leadership that I have to bring forth. They both happen to be intelligence officers, and seeing the world through their lens also helped me to be a better leader and be a better company grade officer, teammate, and wingman. And lastly, it would be one of my squadron commanders at the time, Sluggo Martin. And from him, I learned how to be a part of somebody else's story later in life. And so Sluggo is somebody who had walked in my shoes, but now had a decade or a little bit more to really have gone from CGO to senior officer and had the time to reflect on his own lessons and his own leadership and impart that wisdom to me. So it's learning from those who have also walked in your shoes, but now have the time to look back and reflect on it and pass on wisdom to others.
Which is what you're doing right now. So thank you for that. It sounds like you're carrying it forward. All right, so help us understand what your biggest concern was when you were a CGO. I know it's, one of the earlier stages in your military career. And so thinking back, what was the big concern and how did you address it at that time in your life?
I think the biggest concern that I had as a CGO was really making sure that I could do my job to the best of my ability. I probably had a little bit more weight that I put on my own shoulders from myself being the first female in the 94th Fighter Squadron as a pilot. And I'm not sure that was necessary, but I know that I was definitely carrying that weight with me. But really, I just wanted to learn my craft to the best of my ability and be the best wingman that I could be. Learn how to employ my radar, the weapons, the missions, and have my flight lead six in everything that I did. And that required a lot of drive, determination, study, practice, and ultimately self-awareness to see my strengths, know my weaknesses, and put forth the effort to try to mitigate those weaknesses and be better tomorrow than I was today.
That is a great answer. I think that's something we all want to do, even now, right? 23 years, 28 years later, we always want to be better. And then we want to carry that on for other people we're mentoring and hope they're better than we were. And it just continues to snowball in a very good way. Okay, so with hindsight being 2020, right? We look back a decade ago or 2 decades ago. What advice would you give to that younger self? And it may be similar to what you just said you learned at the time, or it may be different. As we reflect back, sometimes we have a lot of wisdom that we didn't have back then.
I think the wisdom that I would give my younger self, or really to anybody at this stage of life, is to be you. Especially when you are in high school or college or just starting out your career, it is easy to get caught up in competition or comparison to other people. And while we always hear this saying, fake it till you make it, it's fake it in some confidence, but be you in all of that, because I can't be you, Missy. I can't be, Ox. I can't be anybody else. I have to be who I am. And when you're young and learning and trying to figure out who that is, you often look at other people and really try to mirror them, and if that is not your authentic self, it's not going to work. So you have to be authentically you so that your drive, determination, and passions can really come out to the world around you. And that requires you to be self-reflective and look in the mirror and go, who am I? Who do I want to be? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And put forth the effort to become who you want to be, not who somebody else is. And I think comparison is probably one of the devils of the younger years of my life. And really, you just have to be confident with who you are and what your drive is going to take you to become.
I love that. Early in my career, I learned the same advice, and it's really hard because you see people that are excelling in different areas and you say, I want to be like them. But what a great insight to say you still can be at that level or you still can do that job, but you have to be true to who you are, or you will not succeed. It will be disingenuous, not just within the mission, but with the people that you serve with and serve for and serve under. And yeah, great advice. All right, my last question. You just joined us at CGOF. You have a million different ways you could serve and give back, and you already are. So why CGOF?
Why CGOF? Really because of the mentors that I've had in my life, that it really is, to what you said earlier, about paying it forward. Um, I still bleed blue. The Air Force has been a part of my life since I was born. And I want to continue to give back to this generations of servant leaders, because they are the ones serving today, day in and day out, 24/7. And if I can do anything to make their leadership, their service, or their journey better, then we are all in this country in a better place. And so I just want to keep giving to the Air Force that has given so much to me, and to all of our military, whether it is Space Force, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, or just servant leadership across our world.
That's amazing. We are so blessed and so honored to have you as part of CGOF. So thank you. And thank you for joining us today for the podcast. And thank you for all of your insight and wisdom that I know the CGOs that are listening will really take to heart and sit in and hopefully listen to and implement in their life. But to be honest, I've been practicing law for almost 30 years and your insight rings true to me too. So thank you for what you're doing within our military, within our Air Force, and even within the broader community.
Well, thank you again so much for the opportunity.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and share, or just check out one of our other interviews. You can also visit our website via the link below to submit your questions so you can participate in the next interview.